But that's the way it goes. Okay. Rules for the dueling tournament right now. Everything is subject to change. Tips Out made a fantastic rule set for the duel tournament so far. Based off of these are his biggest changes. Biggest changes are in class-specific matchups. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what the rules are. Number 1. July 3rd, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. What's your shower schedule? Yes. That's right. I've never seen it. My face is gorgeous. You're right. You've been cucked. I know. Just give me 1 second. Best of 3, double elimination. Semifinals, grand finals will be best of 5. All class abilities are permitted. That means if you want to use lay on hands, if you want to use retaliation, if you want to use shield wall, we're just going to let you do it. Like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, it's just because you can only use it in one duel, right? I mean, like, here's the way that we figured this out, right? Is that you can only use one of these big CDs in one duel setup, right? Like a best of 3. So even if you use it and you win one game because you use it, you still have to win another game without using it. Obviously, having those cooldowns is a huge advantage, but we're going to go ahead and go with them, all right? Only self-buffs are allowed. That means that warriors can only have Battle Shout, etc. There will be a 30-second downtime between duels for classes to heal and mana up. This is so people don't wait out their cooldowns. We don't want to have that happening. That's the last thing that we want to have happening. But you know what? That's basically the way that it goes. A second. Okay, just give me 1 second. Sorry, I had to tell them to invite somebody. Okay, all right, let's see. Duelists must start 20 yards away from each other at the start of the duel. That means that you don't want to have some paladin running up on top of the warrior like a scumbag, dick-sucking piece of shit. And so we definitely don't want to have that happen. Let's see. Also on top of that, players must keep their original class spec for the entirety of the tournament. This is something that was a little bit, contentious, but we are going to be requiring, because we want to switch between POVs, we are going to be requiring everybody who competes in this tournament to be streaming. You have to stream in order to be part of the tournament. And that way we can check and we can watch their, we can go to that. And here's why. Wait. Okay, do you want to know why? I didn't say you have to be a streamer. Fucking retards. Fucking stupid retards talking shit in chat, don't even understand what the hell's going on. I didn't say that you had to be a streamer. I said that you have to stream the event. Now, why do you have to stream the event? Because we have Esfon, our executive producer, who's going to be moving between the different perspectives between the main character that's observing and competitor A and competitor B to go back and forth to the different perspectives and watching people dueling dynamically during the fucking duel. That's why we're doing it, is because we're going to rebroadcast our stream so we can see both perspectives. That's fucking why. Better angles? We'll set up the stream delay and we'll make all that set up, okay? Streamers win again. Yeah, exactly. What about swapping gear? It's dumb? You're dumb. Swapping gear, we're just going to allow that to happen. There's no way we can micromanage that. It's not really a good use of our time. So you're sorry? Overcomplicated? What is this overcomplicating? Everything of different POVs? Isn't even that cool. Well, I mean, it's not overcomplicating it. Like, I mean, in my mind, right, being able to see both the perspectives of the different people dueling at the same time is something that makes the stream better, because we get to see what they're doing and how they're playing. So yeah, obviously I'm going to say that's a huge fucking positive and a very, very good thing, and it will make the stream better. Yeah, I mean, I can't say how anybody would think that's stupid. But listen, serious duel tournament? Yeah, of course. Let's see here. What's the rest of these? Okay, let me look at the rest of this. Okay, next. No intentional delays. Sorry, only one character is allowed to be played throughout the course of the tournament. That means that whenever you're playing a mage, you don't get to swap over to, whenever you go up against a warrior, you don't get to swap over to your level 13 mage alt to still beat him. right? You just don't get a chance to do that. You basically have to play the class that you started out with. I mean, it's kind of a common sense rule, but we might as well put it in there. That way, nobody can say, oh, you didn't tell us that. I wanted to get on another character. No, you can't fucking do that, okay? No intentional delays will be permitted, i.e. rogues intentionally stealthing for minutes to reset CDs. Any non-strategic acts whose sole purpose is to delay the duel will result in the forfeit of the duel by the delayer. H right here. Fleeing from a duel will result in a loss by the fleeing player. If the player was force fled by another player, the warlock, intentionally fearing a player on the rim of the flee line, the situation will be called into review. We're going to go into a timeout for that. But may result in a loss for the exploiting player. Keep it fair. Remember, this is a Blizzard game. Keep it fair, keep it fun. Consumables and Engineering. All consumables and on-use items, aside from the items specified or permitted, as permitted below, are banned. First aid bandages are permitted, but rune cloth bandages are banned. It's because the item level, or sorry, they're intended for higher level players, and it's just gonna be like a weird thing of like who farm rune cloth. They're just too strong, and there's no reason to allow that, right? Thistle Tea is banned. I'm pretty sure Thistle Tea is banned. I don't know if we've explicitly stated that, but I remember us having a conversation about it and pretty much all agreeing with that. Yeah, this Rogues Games. Well, listen, I mean, everybody has whatever they can bring into a duel without consumables. That's the way that people play the game. Thistle Tea and Death Ray? Yeah. Dropping combat to eat is permitted. Class-generated consumables are permitted. Mage Mana Gem, Warlock Hellstone, etc. Thistle Tea is banned. Goblin Sapper Charges are banned. Grenades and engineering bombs are permitted, however thorium grenades are banned. Anti-venom is banned, Mind Control Cap is banned, Goblin Rocket Helmet is banned. Banned Trinket, Goblin Mortar is banned, Tidal Charm is banned, Gnomish Death Ray is allowed, fuck it dude. And that's what we're currently planning on. We might go back on that. We haven't really 100% decided, but that's basically it. Eating is a consumable. Eating's not a consumable. It's a completely different paradigm. Everybody knows that. If you think it's the same thing as a potion, you're dumb. Okay, let's see what the rest of this is. How do you allow the Death Ray? It's been a very contentious decision, and we still haven't completely made up our minds. But the idea of having one-shot potential, I think, is pretty exciting. And Esfond is convinced that there's enough counterplay involving the Death Ray that it's going to be not completely determining the duels. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. We're still discussing it, and we'll figure it out before tomorrow. That's currently what we have. Banned Trinkets. Arena Grandmaster is banned. We went back and forth on this a number of times. We decided that we're just going, Jen Denise with the 5, get the community subs. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if you're Goblin, you're just an engineer, you just use disadvantage. I don't know. I mean, like, the thing is, like, these are basically the same rules as, like, Tips Tournament, right? And so, like, if people have, like, suggestions on the way that they would want it to be done, you know, it'd be, like, more fair. Like, we're always open to, like, comments and, like, feedback. But right now, it seems like pretty much the most reasonable thing. Magic Dust, that's banned. We already talked about that. That wasn't in the list, so obviously it's banned. Okay, just a second. Banning Thistle Tea is incredibly stupid. We're banning Thistle Tea. Okay, let's see. We'll go to the rest ones. Okay, so AGM is banned. Class-specific matchup. No pre-hotting. This is applying heals over time before duels is allowed. Okay, that's basically it. Ban all classes except warriors. If we banned all classes except for warriors, then we'd basically have the exact same tournament. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'd have the exact same tournament. Nothing would change, except for maybe the first round. There'd be one person different. But other than that, let's see here. Are you streaming today? A rogue will always have Thistle Tea, though? No, I mean, you can say that about potions or anything else, right? I mean, you can't use that logic. It's banned. That's it. It's banned. It's the same with Tips Tournament. Everybody did the same thing. It's banned. Period. Okay, next. Let's see. Hunter pre-traps is not permitted. Warlock cannot pre-sacrifice a demon for a shield. In a stealth versus stealth matchup, each player will get a match where they are allowed to open on each other. If the match goes to 3, the third match will be a free-for-all. So that means basically player 1 gets to have the opener on duel 1. Player 2 gets to have the opener on duel 2. And then it basically goes from there. Eric Thor, thank you very much for the 5 gifted community subs. I appreciate that very much, man. Banning Thistle Tea is fine because it's a consumable that only benefits one class. Well, of course it is. There's just some butthurt rogues that might be mad about that, but that's too fucking bad. You're probably going to win anyway because your class is broken. So listen. These are the rules. Streaming. You must stream the event entirely to avoid respecs, etc. And you have to be okay with us rebroadcasting your stream. Again, you don't have to be a partnered streamer. You just simply have to have a stream that you can turn on. I don't need you to have like a million. You don't need to have a certain amount of followers. I don't care if you have 0 followers. You know, if you want to come into this tournament and you compete, then that's all we need. Rogue is broken 1.12. Sure. Blinding and Vanishing Powder. 2, if you hate rogues that much. No, because those are components of rogues' abilities. Thistle Tea is a separate item that increases rogues' damage, basically. Right? It gives them like full energy. I mean, obviously, Vanishing Powder is different than Thistle Tea. To say otherwise is crazy. I mean, like, I'm sorry. Am I taking crazy pills here? Yeah, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. That's a cooldown. Yeah, of course. Let's see here. Let me read the rest of these. Okay, if a player gets DC'd after a 30-second CD, or if they get DC'd, then, you know, we'll make a decision as to whether they're getting DC'd on purpose or they're, you know, to try to extend the duel, or they're actually getting DC'd. And if they're getting DC'd on purpose, then we're going to disqualify them. And if they're not, then we'll wait. It's just going to be basically up to our own discretion and decision. That's really all there is to it. Rogue Thistle Tea is comparable to a Hellstone. There's no arguing it. We're not using Thistle Tea. Period. Gnomish Death Ray RNG is bad. Well, exactly, right? So if you want to take the risk of using a Gnomish Death Ray, then you can do that. That's fine. But you're going to run the risk of, you know, maybe hurting yourself or getting yourself killed or somebody counterplaying it or something else like that happening. Everyone does it? That's too bad, man. You banned all the fun stuff? If you consider fun being able to, like, artificially extend duels and win duels through contrived consumables and different weird quest items that people have collected through the beta, if you consider that fun, then yes, I've ruined fun. But this is basically the way that I perceive a duel is a normal duel, a test of skill between 2 players using what their class naturally and intrinsically provides. So that means that having, you know, your own self buffs, not having a bunch of other buffs, not having a bunch of other consumables, just what can you do with your class versus what can somebody else do with their class. That's basically the goal that I have, okay? Ban Hellstones then? We're not banning Hellstones. That's retarded. Only Warlocks can use Hellstones, though. Rogues do not craft Thistle Tea from nothing in the same way that, what do you call it? That Warlocks create Hellstones. So how do you make Thistle Tea, guys? How do you make Thistle Tea? With cooking? Yeah, you can't do things with professions. Yeah, I think that's on there, right? Like, no profession item. So if it's a profession item, then you can't use it. Engineering? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like it's a BOE thing. Because you can buy it. So, like, the engineering stuff, I guess that is a little bit more complex. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, here's what it comes down to. Thistle Tea's banned. I didn't make these rules. To be completely honest, I didn't make these rules. Tips and Asmongold are confident that Thistle Tea should be banned. I'm deferring to their judgment. They probably know the game better than me, and they probably know it better than you. That's all there is to it. Let's see. Come on. They're actually able to, what is this, justify the rules? Well, no, it's not about justifying the rules. It's a consumable item, right? Engineering, we're allowing engineering items. We're just disabling Thistle Tea. That's too bad. And that's all there is to it. It's a consumable item, and I don't think that we want to have it. Like, that's all there is to it. No professions? Well, besides those. Hey, asshole. Okay. It's only because you have engineering? Well, listen. I mean, if you guys want to get mad or whatever, then that's fine. But is notorious for being retarded? Well, listen, dude. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is what we're going to do. Okay, that's all there is to it. People aren't going to use Thistle Tea. It's retarded. It's a consumable item that's made specifically for rogues. It's basically a potion people aren't going to use potions. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's done. That's it. We're not doing it. Lay on hands enabled. Yes, you are able to use lay on hands. No, I didn't really know about this being a good idea, etc. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's basically fine. I don't really give too much of a fuck. And, you know what? That should be fine. What about the trinket from ZG that gives you full energy? The trinket from ZG. Well, you can't get the trinket from ZG because we're not, what do you call it? We're not 60, so it's not a big deal. You banned Arena Grandmaster, not Death Ray. Can you come up with a, what is this here? Come up with Hellstone's argument. You jump fucking retailers. Yeah, I mean, if you compare Hellstones to Thistle Tea, you're dumb. Thistle Tea's banned. That's all there is to it. Saying human perception rogues get fucked against other rogue races. No, because the last duel, the best of 3, right? The third duel is anybody's duel, right? It doesn't matter who gets the opener. So that's the point where you can use perception, and it will actually be an advantage for you. So that's basically what the rules are. And there it is. Consider engineering to Thistle Tea, and you allowed engineering? That's right. But we're not allowing Thistle Tea. We're only allowing engineering. That's it. That's what I think is the best decision. That's what I think is the best way of doing it. And everybody else tends to agree with me that's running the tournament. I know there's triggered rogues in chat. That's too fucking bad. We're doing it this way. Crybabies in chat. Rose retarded. Yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. Let's see. Thistle Tea is broken. Who cares? You're all lay on hands. You know what? I will, you know what? I'll ask S-Fund what his logic is on disabling Thistle Tea. Okay? Just give me 1 second. I'll get in voice chat, and I'll see what he basically has to say about it, alright? Okay, give me 1 second. I've gotta join Discord. Hey dude, you there?
What kind of fucking rules are these, dude? Really, you're gonna ban Thistle Tea? Like, that is beyond the scope of what I even imagined these rules would be like, man.
Why?
I mean, it's such a natural part of being a rogue. Of course you're gonna have Thistle Tea. Of course you're gonna have poisons. You're gonna have the tools that they gave your class. What the fuck is this?
It's not a tool that you get. Yeah, we're gonna allow that. We're not allowing Thistle Tea. Like, it's a consumable that you're using. It's no potions. Like, it's simple. No fucking potions. It's a fucking potion. Like, how's this hard to understand? I mean, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's a fucking potion. Like, so is a Hellstone. Hellstones are not potions.
Well, technically it's a tea. It's a tea.
Well, you know what? You can drink tea if it restores mana. That's fine. So is a Hellstone.
Yeah, but rogues don't use mana. They use energy.
Exactly. So that means that rogues can't use tea, and other classes might be able to if there is tea that restores mana.
Hey, I'm back.
So what's the logic? People are confused why we're not allowing Thistle Tea.
So here's the thing with Thistle Tea. Thistle Tea, like it's like super annoying, and there's two different thoughts to this, right? There's one, it's okay because it's like a level 40 tournament. Like a lot of this stuff is like everything's off, right? Like first off, this is about entertainment. It's not about like who's the best this or who's the best that. Like if you genuinely think you're going to find like the best player in Classic WoW in a level 40 beta dueling tournament, you're a freaking moron, right? That's one. But with Thistle Tea, you can look at it in terms of like, yes, it's a potion, or you could look at it in terms of like, well, it could correlate to like a mage's like mana crystal or whatever, or a warlock's hellstone. So I don't know. I honestly wanted to look over the rules one more time and kind of like check everything. Because like I know last night like we sat down and like kind of like Rich went through stuff and then we like added to it and said like, okay, like I think we should do this, I think we should do that. But I kind of want to look at everything like once you had it all typed up.
So just to reiterate your points about Thistle Tea, your first point was that it's annoying, and your second point was that you could correlate it to other classes' abilities. Neither of which.
Did you even listen to what I said? I said like
Yes.
these are the two different ways of looking at it. That's what I said. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I wanted to look at everything before it was posted.
I just restated what you said.
Didn't. No, you said those are your reasons for not having it. Right? That's what you said. I said these are the two things to think about.
Well, then why would you disallow it then?
I'm saying that I wanted to look at the rules one more time before we posted it.
Okay, let's look at the rules then. Let's look at it.
I do think Thistletea is dumb, but that's not the point.
Well, it's a consumable that's crafted by a profession that's exclusive to one class, right? And if we have all consumables banned except for first aid and engineering, then it would be banned by default. It's different than a mana crystal or a hellstone, because mana crystals and hellstones are not crafted with a profession, they're crafted with an ability that a character has. I mean, they're two completely different things. I mean, am I wrong here? Ban poisons too? Poisons are components of Rogue's class in a way that, as far as I know, do you make poisons with cooking? Do you cook poisons? As far as I know, I think you just craft them indirectly, right? I mean, this is... Okay, so you do. You cook poisons. How do you make poisons?
It's its own skill.
Okay, so it's not a profession item.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the correlation between poisons and Thistletea is irrelevant, right? It doesn't make any sense.
That's actually a good point.
What? Ban engineering, ban first aid. We're not doing that. That's it. Free action potions.
You should get rid of engineering too.
Why would we get rid of engineering?
Well, it's annoying.
Every single player has access to it. Whenever there is only one ability or one class that has access to a specific class-specific item that they can get from professions that give them an advantage over other players, I feel like that's unfair. Every single class does not have a profession-based item that they can craft exclusively for themselves to use in duels. Hellstones are completely different because they're not crafted with a profession.
Yeah, but rogues do.
Yeah, it's the only class. Like, that's it. Ban poisons.
I mean, I think one more thing, again, like, it's not about, like, you're going to try and make it as fair as you can, right? But again, this is a level 40 classic beta dueling tournament.
Well, yeah, we're not allowing it. It's stupid. I mean, it's a completely different paradigm than poisons and hellstones. Anybody that thinks those two are the same thing is just dumb. Like, I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Okay, either allow professions, all professions, or none of them. Okay, issue of war. War-wise, Thistletea, you can auto-win a single macro. Yeah, it's too strong. We're not going to allow that to happen. Okay, so basically, here's what the plan is, right? In my mind, right, disabling the Thistletea is the only common sense thing to do, right? Because it is a profession item. Number one, it's a profession item. Number two, it's craftable only by one class. That seems unfair because other classes don't have access to that. If we have no consumables, then we have no consumables. Ultimately, it's one item. How do you guys feel about the rest? Go ahead.
I think that also goes for food as well. That's something we should probably mention.
Well, of course, yeah. You can't have a food buff because if you have a food buff, then that's a buff that your class doesn't create itself. So then, yeah, obviously, it would be by default against the rules. Okay.
But we didn't talk about weapon oils.
Well, yeah, it's a consumable, right?
Well, here's the thing. But here's the thing with weapon oils. You have weapon oils and you put them on your weapon, and then you look at rogues. Rogues have stuff they can put on their weapon.
It's completely different. It's completely different.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's different, but typically like weapon oils are pretty kosher too. So grenades are allowed, yeah.
Yeah, we are allowing grenades. Every player has access to alchemy and herbalism too. Yeah, well, we basically just decided to disable potions just because, like, I just didn't want to deal with it. Like, I mean, there's no reason, like, in my mind, you don't use a potion in a duel, right? And these are, like, all, like, what would be the most fair set of rules?
Well, I kind of look at it as you know, saying, like, bad words, you know? Either all of them are okay or none of them are okay. So if you allow consumables, if you allow some consumables, then you should allow all consumables. If you disallow, if you don't allow some, then you have to get rid of them because it's not fair.
No, that's dumb. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, there's a difference between saying the N-word and saying ass. Like, let's just be realistic here, okay? I mean, come on. Like, I mean, like, what do you mean? Is there some consumables that are just too strong? I mean, we don't want to have... The thing is, I don't want to have the duels decided by a consumable. It's ridiculous.
I mean, you can... Thistle T has counterplay. You can just run away from the road, dude.
No, because you naturally raise your energy up to full in like a couple seconds.
Yeah, you just run... Yeah, but you just run away. You know what I mean?
No, that doesn't make sense, McConnell. Like, look, most of you guys didn't even care about Classic. Like until today. Like, most people, like have been, like, just AFK on Classic Beta until today anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is stuff that, like, people have been, like, thinking about, and now you're just being, like, a contrarian.
Yeah,
what do you mean? I'm not even gonna compete.
Well, like, that's not my point. Like, you're just being contrarian, is my point.
Ask him why... People want to know about Lay on Hands. I mean, Lay on Hands is a class ability, right?
Class ability.
It's a class ability.
Yes.
We're allowing all class abilities.
It's Warriors, you can Shield Wall, you can Recklessness. Like, you're not going to say that you can't use your class abilities.
Yeah,
that's
that's retarded. Obviously,
like,
you're gonna...
honestly, like, this is, like, some stupid, like, edgelord, like, level, like, not level, like, 13-year-old, like, dueling thing where it's like, oh, you can't use Lay on Hands, oh, you can't use Recklessness. Like, get over it. Like, grow fair. Like, and then, like, these are the same people that turn around
well,
and
no,
say
here's the thing.
abilities, right?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though, is that even if you use Lay on Hands, you can't use it for 2 duels. Like, I don't expect to see a paladin win anyway, so who cares? Like, I mean, there's no way a paladin's gonna win this. I'll be amazed if a paladin wins it. Like, are we gonna allow Lay on Hands against raid?
What about weapon chains?
Well, that's an enchant on your weapon, and that's allowed because it's an enchant. We're allowing all enchants. How's that even a question?
Well, I was just asking, dude.
Yeah, and also it's available to every class. Like, every class can have a weapon chain. Like, but you consume the chain. Well, I mean, like, not really. I mean, actually, I don't know. Can you apply a weapon chain to somebody else's weapon? I'm not even sure if you can do that. I'm not sure. What about the Wolf's Head Helm, Druid-only leatherworking helm? I don't know about that. We haven't really had that come up, so we're not going to worry about that too much. How about eating during the duel? Isn't that using consumables that fall outside of class abilities? Well, yes, it is, and that's why we made a specific exception to eating outside of duels. So right here, over here, let's go ahead and take a look at it. All consumables, where is it here? Dropping combat to eat is permitted. That's why it's actually specifically stated in the rules that you're allowed to do that. Can't use this. Not every class benefits from weapon chain. No, but enough of them do for it not to be like an individual, like, class-specific advantage that gives one class an advantage over all of the other classes. And all of the classes that do benefit from weapon chain against each other. So, like, rogues and warriors both benefit from weapon chain. So it kind of cancels each other out. So I think it's balanced in that way. So yeah, I think weapon chain is completely fine. Like, to use that as an example is in my opinion dumb. Is Rage Potion banned? Of course it's banned. It's a consumable. Like, what do you mean? Of course it's banned. How's that even? Of course. Duh. You can't just use a Rage Potion. It's a consumable. People are mad about Thistle T because it feels biased against one class. Well, we're disallowing Rage Potions too. I mean, how's that not the same thing? Like, if you can't use one class specific ability, it's the same thing. Love Soul Link chat. Yeah, well, it was getting a little bit too rambunctious because people weren't listening or paying attention. So I put it on sub-only mode because people are being stupid. Why can engineer use everything but other classes can't? The reason they can use everything is because everybody has access to engineering, whereas everybody
what's
does...
the real truth here? Is it that if Thistletea was allowed, rogues would just dominate every duel and it wouldn't be fun or fair to watch? Is that what you're actually getting to?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I genuinely have no idea. I mean, like...
rogues are really strong at level 40.
Like, if that's the case, you should just say that.
Strong at 40.
Well, yeah, obviously it gives rogues a massive advantage. It's like if warriors could use a rage potion, they're going to be in a really good spot too. Yeah, obviously that's a big component to it. Now, is that the only component? Well, no, not really, because then you get into an argument of degrees of power that each item gives you. So then you are like, okay, well, what does this give you? Should you be allowed to use this ability, retaliation, etc.? But I think it's much easier just to make a logical argument that because it's a consumable item that's crafted by a profession that's exclusive to only one class, it gives them a distinct advantage other classes don't have it access to, and that's unfair. It's the same reason why I don't think that warriors should be able to use rage potions. Like, I mean, do you think warriors should be able to use rage potions?
No, of course not.
Okay, obviously not. So how's Thistletea any different than rage potions?
I don't understand. Like, I keep seeing people say ban warrior rage potion. It's like, are you stupid? Like,
of course they're
why would you
banned.
think that that's okay?
Well,
Like,
they're banned by default.
yeah, it's like obvious that they're going to be banned.
Yeah, let's see. These rules created retail WoW. I mean, like, if you want to have a retard tournament where every single thing is allowed and people are able to do all kinds of stupid shit, you can go ahead and do that. But I don't think that's fun or enjoyable for anyone. I don't think so. I think it's just stupid. And it's going to be... It's funny for, like, maybe, like, 10 minutes, and then it just gets annoying. That's my perspective. Yeah, nobody wants a retard tournament. It's fun for viewers. I don't think that it will be, actually. I don't think so at all. Fake gives you 100 energy. These balance changes remind me of resilience. Well, the thing is, like, Blizzard made a lot of good decisions in the history of WoW. I mean, I know that, you know, whenever you're talking about classic WoW, you can never criticize the game in any sort of a way. But the truth is that Blizzard obviously made a lot of changes, and classes were unbalanced in classic WoW, and it wasn't fair. Like, I want to give everybody, like, as much of an even playing field as possible. You pissed off everyone in chat? Well, that's because they're stupid and they don't understand the nuance of the way that the rules are supposed to be set up. We understand the rules. We understand the game. These are what the rules are. People that are equating Thistletea...
Yeah, you know what? I'm convinced. Yeah, don't allow it. I think that's fine.
What made you change your mind?
Well, I just had to think about it a little bit.
Okay, great.
Sometimes when you review stuff, you change your mind. And after careful consideration and review, I think it's a fine rule. I think it's fine.